Good morning, this is Roger Bain. Welcome to Today in Chicago. You know, right before the show, I was looking through the newspaper, as I do every day, and so much rain fell so fast, this was the rain that fell last night, that the Wilmette locks separating the North Shore Channel from the lake had to be opened to prevent flooding in downtown Chicago, and as a result, 58 million gallons of sewage and water flowed into the lake. Well, all I can say is, if you got to have sewage flowing into Lake Michigan, it might as well be from Wilmette. I mean, Wilmette sewage is just going to be golf tees and leftover quiche and stuff like that. I think if you want to get into some real Tony sewage, though, it would have been nicer maybe if Winnetka could have spilled over into Lake Michigan. The finest sewage of all, though, as you know, is from Lake Forest. I mean, I think probably if the Lake Forest sewage would have flowed into Lake Michigan, the water quality of Lake Michigan would have gone up. Now, this isn't to denigrate some of the finer suburbs that we have away from the lake, Barrington and Hinsdale, places like that. I mean, they've got great sewage too, but how are they going to get it to Lake Michigan? I mean, are they going to ship it by rail or what? I don't think they really need to get it to Lake Michigan. Anyway, so much for sewage in Chicagoland. I hope that clears up. There's another interesting thing. It's State Fair time. I've never been to the State Fair. I'm not even sure if we can get close-ups on this show because budget permitting. But here's a State Fair highlights. It's wonderful. There's a goat barn. There's a sheep barn. There's a cattle barn, swine barn. There are all sorts of barns. If you're into barns and cattle, I think the State Fair would be a great place to go. But what really caught my eye is the opening sentence that said, "The tents are up, the butter cow and its butter calf are in their refrigerated showcase." It seems that there is a butter cow carved out of butter. It's done every year by Norma Duffy Lyon. She's from Iowa. Couldn't they find someone from Illinois to carve up butter at the State Fair? She says, "I use butter for dairy cows, but tallow for beef cattle and lard for pigs." Well, I'll tell you, I was going to do a little butter carving myself. Excuse me. While I dip down here, I'm still here. I brought my butter, I brought my knife, but on the way here, somehow I lost heart. I mean, I thought, this is a perfectly good chunk of butter. Why should I carve it? Anyway, I'm really no good. Maybe I could whittle a little to pass away the time on a rainy day in my tent if I were camping. Which leads me to today's scores. I have to put on my shades for today's scores because if you're a sports fan in Chicago, you're probably out in the sun. Not really, and who cares? Okay, Duke trounced Pitt, Michigan whipped Temple, Vanderbilt creamed Tampa, Louisiana shellacked Mississippi, Alabama butchered Kansas State, Clemson decapitated Oklahoma, Seattle was severed by Chattanooga, Texas gagged and choked on Rice, Stanford swallowed the dynamite of Yale, San Jose State got kicked with a steel-toed boot in the ribs by Miami, and Thomas Jefferson tap danced with golf shoes on the back of George Washington. And we'll be right back, or wait, are we coming right back, or are we going to go right into Judy? Okay, we have a mystery guest here today, Judy Cole. Excuse me, I can't interview anyone with my shades on.
Can I borrow your shades?
Sure. In fact, let's give Judy the shades. She's a mystery guest, and I think it's only apropos.
You're blind.
I'm totally blind.
Whoa.
And in fact, there's no way you're going to be able to answer these hard-hitting questions with those glasses
I'm
on.
gonna have to put them down on my
I'm about
face.
2,500.